Hi, I'm Professor Naylor, and today's lecture is going to be about becoming a time management specialist. We're going to ask you to log into the student portal, and in the upper left-hand corner, click on the email button to open up your Microsoft Outlook account. Now, the view that you're seeing during this lecture is a different version of Microsoft Outlook than you may have, but the concept is the same. One of the first things you want to do is scan your window left to right and find the option to activate your task. Once you click on task, you can scan your window starting at the top of the window left to right all the way down until you find the new button. To the right of the new button is a little drop down arrow which we should investigate, so left click on that. It'll give you an option to create a new task, a new message, a new appointment, a new meeting request, a new contact, and a new distribution list. For today's purposes, we're going to click on Task. Once we click on Task, a new window will appear, and as you examine the title bar at the top of the window, you will see that it's called an untitled task. At this time, we're going to return to the Briarcliff portal, and so we can look at the task or the assignment list that we want to create. We're going to create a task for every gradable assignment starting in week 1 and throughout the semester until we complete all the gradable assignments, turning them into tasks. Our first gradable assignment in week 1 is Introduce Yourself, and if you scan yourself to the right, you will see that it's worth 20 points. One of the first things we want to do is create a task for this assignment. So, to the left of the title, Introduce Yourself, we're going to click on the drop-down arrow. Now, this may differ depending on the class that you're in. I'm using the assignments for the class HU 105, but I also teach SE 101, and so the assignments that I'm using as an example today may not fit into the course assignments for SE 101, which is better known as Fundamentals of Communication. Once we click on the arrow with the left button, it will expand the assignment description. We're going to need that information as part of creating the task and part of the grading requirement. But right now we want to highlight by holding down a left clicker, dragging across the title of this assignment called Introduce Yourself, and we can either hold down the Control button and press the letter C to copy the selected information, or we can right click on the blue selected area, and we'll always get a menu with a right click, and then left click to execute a copy command. Now at this time we'd like to return to the untitled task, and the way we can do that is to use our Alt-Tab key combination, and that will give you the opportunity to return to a previous window that you just left. Now we would like to insert the title of this assignment in the subject dialog box. I place my mouse pointer in the white dialog box. It turns into an I-beam as a pointer, and then I right click to get a menu of choices so I can left click on paste, and there's our title for the first untitled task, which is now titled Introduce Yourself. We also want to be able to see the information behind the untitled task window, so we can actually put our mouse pointer on the title bar, hold down our left clicker, and drag the window up. And this way we'll be able to see some of the information that we need to continue to complete the untitled task. So right now, the next thing we would like to do is put in the start date, the due date, the completion date, and the status. Well, we intend to start this probably the day that we're creating this task, but again, it depends on the task and the class that you're taking. So when I clicked on the drop down arrow, the first month that we're actually in right now while I'm taping this is in August. And so we can choose to back out of August because the due date for this assignment was July 9th. So we'll back out of August by using the left arrow to the left of the word August, and now we're looking at July. We can click on July 9th and say that we started this assignment and that it's actually due on the same date. And if we've completed the assignment, we can put down the date it was completed. And again, this will differ for every assignment and for any class that I teach. And then ultimately, our status will complete itself based on the date that we insert, date completed. So we've gotten through the major part of creating a task, and we just want to do one more thing. We want to put the assignment description in the task that we're creating right now, so that we would be able to see what some of the important criteria or requirements for this assignment are. So we're going to click on the window behind the Untitled Task window to get back to the portal. Now we can highlight the assignment description by holding down our left clicker to the left of the first line. While holding down our left clicker, we're going to drag all the way to the right of the last sentence and then let go. Now we can place our mouse pointer on the blue selected area, or we can do a Control-C. That's a 2-key combination. Control is your CTRL key. While holding that down and pressing the letter C, it will copy whatever you selected. But I'll also use the mouse and the right clicker while my mouse pointer is on the blue selection to get a menu of choices. Once my menu appears, I will left click on the choice that I would like to execute, and in this case, that's a copy command. Now the information has been copied into random access memory, and so I can return to my Introduce Yourself task and right click in the big white area. That'll give me a menu of choices, and then left click on the executable command, Paste. And so now I have all the information about this assignment readily available in the task that I'm creating. One other thing that you may consider doing is choosing a reminder. By default, the reminder is not selected like it is in the calendar, so your choice to use the reminder or not is up to you. It is always good to use the reminder option sparingly, so that you will only be reminded of very important assignments, like an upcoming test that you have to study for, or a major paper that you have to work on. And this way, every time you open up your email account, a reminder window will appear, and if you use it sparingly, you will only see a couple of tasks, maybe more, hopefully less, and this way you'll pay attention to a reminder window rather than just close it without looking at all of the information that is trying to be brought to your attention. So just for the sake of a sample or an example, I'll put a check in the reminder box and see what options I have. When I use my drop down arrow, I can see that I can pick a month and a day for a reminder to appear, as well as a time. And again, every time you access your email account, depending on how you've configured your reminder option, a reminder window will appear reminding you of important assignments that are up and coming that you possibly need to prepare for or make the necessary adjustments in your schedule to complete in a timely manner. Now at this time, we've made all the choices that we're required to make for the gradable assignment. So we must finish the window by closing it and saving it at the same time. So the button in the upper left hand corner affords us the opportunity to save and close this task. At this time, we would like to return to our Microsoft Outlook window and see if we can find that task in our list of tasks that we have already created in the past. And so as you go through this list, you will see that near the bottom of this window, I have more than once in doing this lecture created a task called Introduce Yourself. If I'd like to see that task, I can simply select it, and to the right I see a viewing window with all the information about this particular task. If you notice, there's a line through the task, and that happens every time you complete a task, and that symbolizes or brings to your attention that you've completed that gradable assignment and there's no more concerns about it. So, in summary, Becoming a time management specialist means that you have to use the tools that are available to you to help you monitor your progress and the use of time. And some of us have very limited time, so we have to be very effective as using it. Some of us have more time than we really never knew we had. And in this case, you can now see that you can get more done than you ever thought you could by using your time effectively. I'm David Naylor, and thank you for listening.